And now we have a public hearing about our budget. Wow. Okay, I get to read this now. It's my privilege to do this. Thank you all thanks to all of you who want to share your thoughts and ideas with us during tonight's public comment time. Before we start, the committee would like to provide an abbreviated version of the public comment rules, which probably you've already heard. All individuals wishing to speak can sign up prior to the start of public comment today, November 6th at 6:15 p.m. The Administration and Finance Committee Chair will be calling on people on the sign-up list only. If you have not signed up to testify yet, please do so with whomever is at the entrance of the board. This public comment time will have an allotted time of, well, let's see, we have 13. Let's do 2 minutes per person. During public comment, public testimony will be given without debate. Only clarifying questions from the board will be allowed. We will not tolerate discriminatory and/or harassing words directed at anyone. So please ensure that all comments you make tonight comply with the policy. The board made the decision many years ago to operate under Robert's Rules of Order. Under Robert's Rules of Order, the ceding of time to another person is not allowed. So only those signed up to speak may speak for their allotted amount of time. We also request that each speaker provide his or her name and address. As chair of this meeting, I will call for additional testifiers at the end of the hearing 3 times before the hearing is closed. So, with that being said, up first is Dale Hume, and then we have Corey Larson.
Thank you. My name is Dale Hume. I live at 4230 Colfax Avenue North in Minneapolis. And I was up here before speaking about the refrigerated outdoor ice rink at North Commons Park. Anytime development happens in North Minneapolis, you hear about underprivileged people, you hear about poor economics, and that's true. So it's an uphill battle in North Minneapolis to make things happen which are easier in other areas of the city. One of the things that's made it possible to do good hockey in North Minneapolis is the presence of the Titans organization in Northeast Minneapolis. Anybody that's watched the Mighty Ducks knows that you get assigned to an area. And now the park board doesn't do that because the park system is kind of separate from the way most hockey is done. But the folks in Northeast have been most gracious to the people in North, and we've created a mutually enhanced system where low-income kids that come in, or people that come in through North Minneapolis, can get a higher skill level and can get promoted towards levels that might lead to playing in high school hockey and so on, where they probably wouldn't get that just playing on a park team. So that's key. And any rink that they need open to make hockey work in their side is of interest to us. So Wyndham is, of course, of interest to us. The other rink that's of interest to us is Weber Park. And one of the things that we do in New Directions is we make sure that there's skates at all the north side parks. There's only 3. And that so people can enjoy the park. And but one of the things that really it hurts me is when I drive by that Weber Park, we've gone to the trouble to get skates there, put them in the cubby holes. There's no sign there or anything. There's nothing there to let people know that there's actually an activity there. You know, it's just, I don't know what that little buzzer means, but anyway, I think one thing I just point out, maybe focus, if there could be more focus, we wouldn't have to cut things. The focus being on the emphasis of what the parks are here for, and then also, making sure that we promote those things that we spend money on.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Corey Larson, and then Eric.
I have a handout again. This is from Minnesota Wild and Minnesota Hockey.
Perfect. Corey, thank you. And then Eric Vigoy. I apologize if I'm saying your names incorrectly.
Hello, my name is Corey Larson. I live at 2125 22nd Avenue. I'm here to talk about the outdoor ice closures, specifically Wyndham Park. I've been a resident of Northeast Minneapolis my entire life, and I've used Wyndham Park facilities throughout that time, including working there during my teenage years. My 6 children currently use the park on a weekly basis, In addition, though, to my personal use of the park, I'm currently the president of the Minneapolis Titans youth hockey program. The Titans subsidize 100% of our membership with reduced fees to play hockey, including providing equipment. We also provide to 10% of our membership hockey at absolutely no cost. Minnesota hockey right now, as Dale was mentioning, is very boundary focused and is considered the gold standard to provide hockey to youth in America. There, and the Titans' biggest challenge is access to ice. The Titans rely heavily on Northeast Ice Arena and also easy access to outdoor ice, including Wyndham Park. Without these rinks, we just simply won't exist. We're still struggling to recover from the closure of Victory Memorial Ice. I understand the challenge to fund these rinks is difficult, but the long-term consequences of shutting down any access to ice is substantial. I ask that you reconsider your budget to find a way to fund these rinks so that families can continue to enjoy the use of the amenities that the Minneapolis Park Board has provided. Thank you.
Thank you. Eric, and then Tony Tillman.
Hi, my name is Eric Vigo. I get a lot of different ways.
Sorry.
Fine, appreciate it. I live at 2323 Hayes Street Northeast. I moved to the neighborhood about 12 years ago, and Wyndham Park has been a great spot for my family. I've got 2 kids, and when I moved to the neighborhood, we saw the outdoor ice at that rink. My children took to it. I met people from the Minneapolis Titans, and I started coaching with them. And it's been very rewarding. I've also coached baseball at Wyndham Park. I tried to coach football at Waite Park for a while. That didn't quite take hold. But I think youth sports for our kids is really critical to their development as people, especially coming out of COVID. Gathering at Wyndham Park for the outdoor ice is very important for everybody. It's a great way to form community, meet our neighbors. I see a lot of them here tonight. That's great. When Hockey Day Minnesota came to Minneapolis, there was a video shot of what outdoor rinks mean to our community and our state. And it just emphasized all the work that goes into putting these rinks together so that people have these opportunities to connect, to develop a love for sport, develop a love for teamwork, and we're pretty unique in the fact that we do it. And when I saw the budget come out, I was pretty surprised. I saw the boards delivered to the park one day, they were gone the next. That's how I found out. It's still part of the budget to provide these rinks for other communities. In Northeast, we just have the 2. We have Logan and Wyndham. And Wyndham's the place where we connect. And it's really important for our community to have that space to continue that. And I just really appreciate the board looking at this further and making sure it's equitable for our groups, because we run practices there. We connect there. It's important for our families. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Tony Tillman, and then Mike Snee.
Thank you, Commissioners, Superintendent, and staff. My name is Tony Tillman. I live at 1037 36th Avenue. I'm speaking about the Wyndham Ice Rink. My wife Molly and I have 2 girls, Marina 5 and Sonia 2 months. We live in the Waite Park neighborhood of Northeast Minneapolis. Marina's a kindergartner at Waite Park Community School. I'm also big through big brothers, big sisters. My little TJ lives in Northeast, attends Edison High School. The superintendent's budget includes a proposal to close Wyndham Northeast Ice Rink along with 4 other rinks. Wyndham Ice Rink is essential to youth and families in Northeast and should remain open. Here's why. First, only 3 of 22 ice rinks in Northeast Southeast, the district with the largest population and arguably the richest hockey culture, Van Cleve, Logan, and Wyndham are the rinks. Van Cleve and Logan are constantly full with adults and college kids playing nightly pickup games. It's wonderful both these get used, but Wyndham is essentially the only rink in District 1 where youth and families can access a hockey rink. Without Wyndham Ice, youth and families in Northeast are essentially cut off from ice rinks in Minneapolis. The Titans Youth Hockey Association provides relatively affordable hockey to youth in Northeast and North Minneapolis. They serve about 100 kids ages 4 to 14 and continue to grow. Titans rely heavily on outdoor practices at Wyndham Park in order to help keep costs affordable. Finally, as I've alluded to, Wyndham Ice Rink is a place of winter magic. On Friday nights, neighbors gather around a bonfire rinkside, while kids tussle for a puck or twirl on figure skates. Lights of downtown twinkle in the distance, and snow covers the old houses. Everything is perfect. It's understandable the superintendent's office is feeling pressured to close rinks after the terrible skating conditions last year. But sub-freezing Januaries are not going anywhere anytime soon, and the low angle of the winter sun is not changing. I encourage the park board to take action for the future and install more refrigerated rinks. But until then, please keep Wyndham Ice Rink open, or so much more than an ice rink will be lost. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike Snee, and then Mike Ulmer.
Thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate it. I am Mike Snee, and I'm here both personally and professionally. Personally, I've been a 30-year resident of Minneapolis, moving here in 1994. I live at 5719 12th Avenue South. I've been coaching hockey in Minneapolis for 20 years straight. In fact, I have a game at 8 p.m. tonight, so I can't stay for the entire meeting. Hockey is my passion. With 3 children, I've either been coaching with the Minneapolis Hockey Association or Minneapolis Park Board Hockey. Professionally, nearly my entire 30-plus year working career has been involved in hockey with various organizations and teams. And then this past summer, the Minnesota Wild, which from day one when they started in 2000 has been very supportive of growing hockey throughout the state, realized that more needed to be done, especially in certain areas, especially in our urban core. They created a new position which is fully dedicated to raising philanthropic dollars and reinvest it back in our special community hockey environment that we have in Minnesota and only in Minnesota. And I was the fortunate person that they hired this summer for that role. There has not been a lot of awareness for this role yet in the hockey community because we're still creating what we're going to do. If we were a restaurant, we would still be putting our menu together. We wouldn't have our doors open. We wouldn't be able to serve anybody yet. So I acknowledge that in my professional role with the Wild, I'm here prematurely. We heard about this news this weekend and we mobilized, and so I wouldn't be here if not for the news that we heard. What we ask, we want to put together a committee of people, the hockey leaders in Minneapolis, City of Lakes, New Directions, Dynamites, my association, and certainly Park Board Hockey, which I truly believe is a hidden gem. Not enough people know that young people can play hockey for $95. We need to make sure people know that. We'd like to put together a committee, and our simple ask is that you at least delay this decision 1 year to allow the Minnesota Wild to perhaps create even more reasons and a lot more reasons for you not only to not close these rinks, but perhaps maybe someday open more rinks. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Mike Ulmer, and then Kayleen Marinello. I got all the letters. Sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
All right. My name is Mike Ulmer, 2618 Lincoln Street Northeast. My wife and I moved here 2 years ago from Seattle. I haven't lived in a cold weather climate for over 10 years. Hockey was not on our radar of anything that we thought our kids would be doing. And we were pleasantly surprised when we saw what looked like an ice rink going up in Wyndham Park, just 2 blocks away. Our kids were 5 and 2 at the time. They started skating there. Theo met some other Titans there, and he quickly learned how to skate. He could skate better than me right away. And he's in his 2nd year with the Titans, and he loves hockey more than anything. He's looking forward to playing there this winter. My daughter Linnea has learned how to skate there too. She's ready to join the Titans next year, and it's all because of this Wyndham Park ice arena. I grew up in Wisconsin next to a park that had an old ice rink that had been defunded long before I grew up there. And I just didn't think outdoor ice rinks were really a thing anymore. It was really a surprise when we moved here and saw that Minnesota hockey culture is a thing. I had no idea. And it would be a shame to see this not get funded. So please continue to fund the Wyndham Park ice rink and ensure that our neighborhood kids have a place to connect with their friends and learn to love hockey. Thanks.
Thank you. Kayleen, and then Andy Benedict.
Good evening. I appreciate the time. My name is Kayleen Marinello, and I reside at 2325 7th Street Northeast. And much like my neighbors and my friends and some of the coaches and teammates of my children, I'm here to advocate for the Wyndham Ice Rinks. Many people have mentioned that the Wyndham Ice Rinks are a social hub for our children and families in Northeast Minneapolis, but I do want to reiterate the unique opportunity that Wyndham offers for all residents, young and old, and that is to experience the joy of ice skating by providing free ice skates for anyone to borrow. This allows Minneapolis residents to discover a new way to be active and allows equitable access to a sport that might otherwise be inaccessible to some. In speaking with my neighbors, each person I spoke to has a story about Wyndham. Teaching their children to skate, playing rec broom ball, practicing with their hockey team, or using the ice to play games during Rec Plus after-school care. Most days throughout the winter, you can see multiple people utilizing the rinks from the moment they open until the moment they close at night. It's truly a part of the fabric of our community. Living in a state where winter is long, and statistics will tell you people in general need to get outside more, exercise more, connect with their community more, closing a major outlet for all three of these seem counterintuitive to building a strong, healthy, and active Minneapolis community. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Andy Benedict and then Mark Jensen.
Hi, Andy Benedict again, 2537 Brighton Avenue Northeast. I'll be brief, but I just wanted to, again, reiterate how amazing it is to see all the great support, specifically for this one park, but I'm sure it exists for elsewhere as well. In particular, Wyndham, though, is near and dear to our hearts, as well as all these folks. And I just want to use this opportunity to ask any questions you might have. Is there anything that we can answer for you as to why this park or another park should be left off of the list in particular?
Sorry, we can't ask.
No questions? Okay.
Questions.
Then I'll give my time back and look at it.
Thank you so much. Mark Jensen and then Michelle Spangler.
Hi, my name is Mark Jensen. I live at 2227 Wilson Street Northeast in the Wyndham Park neighborhood. We've heard from a current president of Minneapolis Titans. I am a past president. Back in 2012 or 2013, when I was on the board, we had a problem to solve, and that was not enough ice time for our kids. And so I was able to work with the park director at Wyndham Park at that time to secure some ice, and we started to solve our problem. But what I realized after a year or two is not only were we able to provide more resources, but we had begun to build community, a community of Titan skaters that grew as our program grew, fueled by the kids and families that saw us there, and generally a larger community of park users. Our skaters, other skaters, people sledding, all bonding around the treats and the bonfires on the Friday nights, which, as other speakers have said, were really magical times. Those Friday nights were fantastic. I know things have changed in the years since I have been involved with Titans hockey, but I know that this rink is still a critical resource for Titans hockey and the community that surrounds it, and we've heard that from the other speakers. I would strongly urge you to reverse this decision to eliminate this outdoor rink and keep this resource available for the families and the Titans in the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Michelle Spangler and then Mitchell Hansen.
Hi, my name is Michelle Spangler. I live at 2951 Buchanan Street Northeast in the Audubon neighborhood, and I'm also just here to advocate for keeping Wyndham Park's ice rink in the budget. Other people said, many eloquent things that I just want to echo, but it's just a great community space. When my husband and I moved here in our early 20s, we moved from a place that didn't really have ice in winter. So it was really magical to find these ice rinks where we didn't have skates or anything. We could find the skates, everything we needed to have fun in the parks. And now we have kids who are on the Titans hockey team. I have a mite as well, and they practice in the parks. Wyndham is one that they can walk to. Anything else, we'd have to get in the car and drive, and our lives are kind of too busy to fit some of that stuff, and that extra drive is just an extra barrier to getting to the ice. My son's finally at the age where he can walk to the park with his friends after school and have that independence and build that confidence that we always talk about we want to build in our kids. And I'll just say in the winter, our Northeast ice rinks are fully utilized. And other people have said that there's a lot of adults and college kids, a lot of club sports, especially at Logan and Van Cleve. And once again, Wyndham is really the only one that's open for our kids to play at. So just hope you'll keep that in the budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Mitchell Hansen, and then Ann. I apologize, I can't read your hand. Morenes. You can tell me when you get here. Ann M.
You call me? Okay.
Hi, Mitchell.
So a Trump win means that David Wilson's voluntary offset market is about to boom to billions. So that's really good news for him. You won't really benefit from that as much, but now without regulation, the city forest credits is going to lead to environmental destruction. So I know they're happy. You took our trees and you let Excel use them for renewable energy by burning them and buying the energy. You're selling them offsets so they don't need to build clean energy. You acted the community solar rewards as a reward for the people. I'd recommend that you read the Attorney General's warning against the solar renewable, how's it called again? Community solar rewards program as a scheme. I also wonder who you're buying them from, and sun doesn't always shine. Net zero is pretty much a hoax. And I think anyone knows that. And I think it's pretty sad that instead of actually trying to reduce things, we're just writing them off. And I really want to talk about the museum fund, because it gets about $18 million a year and acts as a pass-through entity because MIA can't assess a levy on its own. MIA has like over $300 million. Pay-to-play donors get lavish and lucrative trips that cost over $1 million a year going to Luxembourg and art museums, as well as insider information used to enhance their personal collections. With $80 million in the Grand Caymans, even though the books are in Singapore and Hong Kong, along with $18 million in Luxembourg to play with, aren't they good? Don't they have enough? Why can't we vote on this? When you let the elite make decisions and determine what's valuable, you leave us out of the process and make us destitute for philanthropy and for privatization of our government. Why can we not talk about the museum budget? Like, why do they need more money? And why is every donor to 3 of these commissioners on the board of trustees? David Wilson is the main person at MIA. It's so obvious what's going on. I don't know why. I mean, it's maybe everyone can't see it, but can I go to these lavish gala parties like at MIA? That'd be fantastic because it's kind of my money too. Get it together.
Ann M. and then Lorene Parsons. I'm sorry, Ann. I can't differentiate the R from the N.
So thank you, Board. My name is Ann Munnins. I live at 2529 Brighton Avenue. I come here as a community member, a mother, a Wyndham Park, actually Audubon Park resident, and as the school nurse at Edison High School. I've raised 3 children in Northeast, and every winter has been full of days at Wyndham. We've bragged to family members from out of town and actually shown videos of our magical evenings spent on the ice. Last winter, when there were 5 days, it was absolutely full of kids. My little son, who's back there, was there for over 3 hours every single day until it was absolute slush. The pickup games boosted his confidence, they boosted other children's confidence, and the adults who are there have fun. In addition, those pickup games aren't just for the boys. My daughter has played with adult men on those leagues and had a great time. She is part of one of the only teams that is a pure urban hockey team, which is a co-op between St. Paul and Minneapolis. All the other co-op teams are always Minneapolis with a suburban team, but she's a member of the Starwells. So I've seen that take up their, grow up their confidence and everything like that. But I also come not just from the Titans, but also as a community member. I've been down there and I see parents pushing their kids like in a buggy and just like people having fun, adults having fun, their kids having fun. I've often said that if my kids didn't skate, I wouldn't live in Minnesota because what are you going to do in the winter? That Wyndham Ice Rink is a community gathering spot, and it's unfortunate that Northeast and Southeast have very few. When I looked at the map, I saw quite a few down in South in that area, and they also have lakes, but we don't. So I feel like it's an equity and an accessibility issue, and I would hope that the rink can remain open. I'm also wondering why this one was chosen, since it does seem to be very busy, and most of the times I drive past, which I live very close, it's usually busy. I've lived there for 16 years. I've recently joined a broomball league, which was so fun, so even as an adult, I've been able to have new experiences. Multiple schools use it. Thank you so much, and I've seen my students from Edison there. Thank you.
Thank you. Lorene Parson.
Hello, my name is Lorian Parson. I live at 1423 19th Avenue Northeast. And in 2019, I lost my house to a fire. And we had to rebuild our house, and we chose to stay in Northeast. Now, I don't have a fancy big lot. I have a postage stamp for a lot. But one of the reasons we stayed was because of the rink. My kid is 15 years old. He skates all the time. So on a good winter day, if we can't find him, he'll be there for 6 hours, 7 hours at a crack. And all of these families back here feel the same way I do. This sense of community is so important to us and to the health of our kids. And we as adults are equally there. So I am the manager of one of the broomball teams for the Adult Broomball League that's there. Anne's on my team. We have an absolute blast. Our kids are there skating. We have fire and ice every Friday night. Come and join us. It's really fun. The free skates allow access to anybody that wants to come and join us. So please don't take away a good sense of community that we have there. The Minnesota Hockey was creating a promotional video that was talking about Hockey Day Minnesota. They filmed our rink, our Wyndham rink. Why? Because it was busy, because it's always active. We have kids of all different ages, all different skill levels. Please keep our rink. Please figure out another option. There are people that would volunteer to keep it open. There are people that would volunteer to keep it functional if that's what it takes. So we do have commitment, and we have people that are very passionate about keeping our sense of community. So Wyndham Park, please save it. Thank you.
Thank you. That is our list. Is there anyone else that would like to speak before we close the public hearing? Anyone like to speak? No one like to speak? Okay, that being said, I'm going to now close the public comment period, public hearing for our budget. And moving right along.